Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 125th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I put onto YouTube. The team I'm in today consists of Brotherhood member Racer X, who has bought the Rome Scipio faction, and we have Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Rome Brutio faction. And myself, Spartan Commander, who has bought the Rome SBQR faction. So there's our team there, full of good players. This should be a great battle for you to watch. You wait till you see the other team. This should be a great one for you to watch. And here is the other team. We have RTW player Cornovi, who has bought the the Carthage faction. And then we have TNG Odin, who has bought the Rome Julio faction. Of course, Odin is now in the Titans clan. And then we have Titans Mohammed, who has bought the Macedon faction. So there's the other team, full of really great players. And as I said before, this should be a good one for you to watch. And with all those pikes that Macedon's got and Carthage got, this is going to be a real challenge for us to fight. At this stage of the battle, I thought we'd have a look at Titans Mohammed's Macedon army here. As you can see, I think he's got 14 units of Royal Pikemen with their very long pikes, very difficult to fight through. As you can see, he's got a Pilot Shield unit at the front of his main battle line there. Even though these units have got 121 men in each, it's still prudent to have a Pilot Shield unit in front to try and soak up as much of the Roman pilots as you can. And then, of course, Macedon has the infamous companion cavalry with great charge bonus. I think they've got a 9 charge bonus. And if you look at the banners above each unit, you'll see that each unit has got 8 banners on. So they've got 2 stripes, gold attack and gold shield. And those cavalry are not to be messed with those type of upgrades on. So that's a very powerful Macedon army there. And it'll be interesting to see how well they do against Rome. At this very early stage of the battle, you can see that our ally there has brought his fast-moving Roman general unit across there to try and hit the Carthage slingers. He's noticed that Carthage have got no cavalry except for its cavalry general there. So what he's done is he's taken a chance there to run his cavalry, armoured cavalry unit over there to try and kill the slingers. But if you notice that Carthage's ally is quick onto the scene there and is charging cavalry over, so my guess is that he'll just try and get that cavalry away now. But as you can see, it was quite a good move there by our ally, because all he was hoping to do was to kill as many of those Carthage slingers as he could, noticing that Carthage didn't have any cavalry of its own except for the cavalry general. As you can see now, what he'll try and do is just escape now. At this very early stage of the battle, you can see our Brutii ally is in a real attacking mood there. Do you see how he's moved towards the Carthage infantry? He's moved so far forward that the enemy Julii infantry have been able to move to his flank, and he is now in a reasonably exposed position there. Both can be hit by Carthage and the enemy Julii there. Our Scipio ally is moving over to assist him there. As you can see, my army here, the SBQ army, I'm trying to do a flanking action round the flank of Macedon there. As we've said in other battle videos before, Roman generals don't really want to fight pike units head on, especially Macedon pike units with those long pikes. So I'm just trying to do a flanking action there. As you can see, the enemy Julii cavalry have just charged in there and routed some of our allies' Brutii infantry. As I say, initially our allies' Brutii army there was a bit exposed to both Carthage and Julii there, but it's doing quite well at the moment. If you notice that the Carthage units, I don't think there's maybe about 12 or 14 of them, but they will be very well upgraded. So those Carthage Sacred Band pikemen there are doing extremely well in the centre. As I think what they're trying to do is try to punch a hole through our Brutii ally there, right in the centre. So if they can do that, then obviously that would give them a big advantage by destroying our centre. As you can see over on the right here, you can see our Scipii ally is in an aggressive battle with the enemy Julii infantry there. Meanwhile, over on our left here, I'm just going to pause the game for us to be able to take stock of the situation, and I'm going to ask you a tactical question. Okay, so you can see here that the cavalry, Macedon companion cavalry, are out to my left, so I've put 3 infantry units facing them. As you can see there, the Macedon pikemen are facing my army. And as I said earlier, in the centre you can see that the Carthage Sacred Band are trying to punch a hole through our Brutii ally there in the centre. And if you notice that the Macedon has sent over a couple of pike units to support its allies there. And as you can see, the Carthage general is stood behind his troops, giving the morale bonus there to his Carthage Sacred Band as they remorselessly move forward into our Brutii's ally there. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, you can see the enemy Julii army is in aggressive combat with our Scipii ally. So it's quite a lot of things happening on this battlefield at the moment. I just want you to take stock of everything here, because I'm just going to ask you a tactical question. So, if you were in charge of my 6 cavalry units here, what would you do with these cavalry units now at this stage of the battle? Would you take them out to engage the companion cavalry, bearing in mind that you've got 3 infantry units there you could throw into the fray? That could be a reasonably good option. Maybe we could destroy the Macedon companion cavalry in one go. Should I take the cavalry over here to help my Scipii ally and maybe charge in through my Scipii ally into the Julii enemy infantry and help destroy them? Should I take my cavalry maybe out to the flank, out to the wide right flank here, where maybe I could charge into the enemy from the flank? So if you were in charge of these 6 cavalry units, what would you do on the battlefield at the moment? What tactical move would you do with those cavalry now? Interesting. Let's see what actually happens. You see the companion cavalry now are moving back round behind their allies. Now if you notice how I've positioned my cavalry, this will give you a clue in what I'm about to do with them. If you notice, I'm bringing infantry units over to try and block the Macedon pikemen from getting involved here, and you'll see why in just a second. Can you see my allies Brutii cavalry charging into the right side of the Carthage Sacred Band? Now if you notice, I'm bringing my 6 units of cavalry over, and yes, I'm going to smash into the flank of that attacking Carthage Sacred Band units there, and bang as the cavalry hits. I'm hoping to kill his general. If I manage to kill his general, then that will, there you go, manage to hit his general, kill his general. So the morale of all those Carthage Sacred Band units will drop. Do you notice that they're starting to rout? If you notice, I threw a couple of my infantry units in to block the Macedon pikemen on that side, so they couldn't blunt my cavalry attack there. So you notice with the impact on the flank of those Sacred Band units there has caused a mass rout. Remember what we've said, we don't like using cavalry head on against pike units, but their flank and rear are very weak, very weak. So that's where I hit with my cavalry there. Meanwhile, over on our right here, you can see the enemy Julii cavalry and infantry are doing very well against our Scipii ally. If you notice, the Julii cavalry are now in behind our Scipii ally there and is attacking his engaged infantry. But if you notice, good teamwork here. Our Brutii ally has brought his cavalry over to help our teammate. But over on this right flank, it looks like it's a bit of touch and go on what's going to happen there. I think our Scipii general has just been lost there. As you can see, I'm charging my cavalry in again, with a view to hitting those enemy Julii infantry, those engaged enemy Julii infantry there. And as you see, my cavalry hit, and bang, as they charge in, getting the full cavalry charge bonus there. If you notice, a lot of the enemy Julii infantry have routed there. If you notice that the enemy Macedon cavalry are charging in as well, over on our right flank there. It all seems to be actually kicking off here on the right flank at the moment. If you notice in the centre here, centre left, can you see that I'm taking my units around the flank of Macedon? If you notice, I've actually attacked some of the Macedon pikemen head on, but that's just to hold them there while I move infantry around the flank of those Macedon units. Now what I'm thinking here is, if I charge my cavalry and the shock of my cavalry charging into these engaged enemy infantry could spark maybe a mass rout. That's what I'm hoping for anyway, as my cavalry hits. You see it's routed some of the Julii infantry there. If you notice that there's still Macedon cavalry, can you see the Macedon cavalry charging into the flank of those units I was taking around the rear of the Macedon infantry? A nice little move there by the Macedon general there. If you can see, there's some of the Macedon pike units have rallied and are coming back into the battle there. Here are the Macedon generals pulling his cavalry back, probably with a mind to charge his cavalry back in to get the full cavalry charge bonus. As you can see there, you can see that some of those routed Macedon pike units, as I said earlier, are coming back into the fray. And if you notice, my allies' Brutii infantry are starting to engage them to stop them coming into the rear of my units. As you can you see the SPQ, or my SPQ cavalry charging into the flank of those Macedon pikemen with a view to try and rout those pikemen by hitting them in the flank. Now, new players watching this game, can you see how effective cavalry hitting the flank of pike units are? You saw what those cavalry did to the Carthage Sacred Band, hitting them in the flank earlier, and you just saw how my cavalry just charged into the flank of those Macedon pikemen there. So charging your cavalry into the flank, and especially the rear of engaged pike units, you will get some really good results there, as you've just seen. Meanwhile, back to this to the left flank here, you can see a lot of the remaining enemy Julii units are starting to rout now, and we've managed to go on and seem to have won this battle. Bear in mind, this is only a 3v3. If you look at the piles of dead on the battlefield, you can see that it bears testament to how tough this battle was against really good players there. First thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. There were some really good moves and some great cavalry hits as well. If you notice that the Carthage kills were not a lot there, well, of course that's because they were caught early in the battle with that flanking cavalry attack, so they didn't get much of a chance to be able to kill many of us. So we managed to kill him so quick there. That's why he's only got low kills. If you notice, his teammates have got really good kills. Really well played to all the team there. And I'd like to say really well played to Racer X and Legion 22 on my team, who I thought played extremely well in that battle. Some great tactical moves and some great team support there. So really well played by them. Just like I said, it was a great battle to be in, and this is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed the battle and hope you liked the music on the front, just something a bit different, and see you soon.